as the cold wind blows through. It's quite chilly down here in Louisiana. This is SimplySuperDave coming at you this Sunday evening with a little continuation about our little energy talk this morning. Just wanted to, I know I was all over the place, by the way, but that was kind of the point. My point is, no matter what aspect of life you look at, energy is a key essential part to it. And one thing as human beings we have the control of is either putting out positive or negative energy. Now, here's the tricky part. And this is where a lot of where faith and religion or therapy or Buddhism, whatever you want to do to get kind of a mindset where you can control what energy you put out to the world despite what energy you are receiving. That is one thing I believe you can control. Now, at all times, can you have control over that? Do we get emotional, get upset, mad? Yes. We're not perfect. One thing I definitely agree with in the Bible is that we are all sinners and that we are going to make mistakes. But what differentiates us from most people is that some people learn from those mistakes and some people continue to make them. That's the difference. There's no test you can really take to measure that. It's just an examples in life. I am a very good example of someone that learns from time to time, but seems to keep making the same mistakes. So I'm not preaching from a perfect point of view here. And so I'm not preaching whatsoever. But I do enjoy thinking about how I like to be around positive energy. Even if it's for a minute. I will always try to make short talk with different people, and I will know just from that exchange whether this is someone you can always say hi to every time that you see them, or it's just someone you can ignore or move on past. I mean, there's plenty of people in the world. I don't feel guilty about ignoring a few of them here and there. But let's get back to that energy talk. Like I said, I believe pretty much that God is the total sum of energy in the universe. And here on our small planet of Earth, I think that there's a good chunk of it. And we all inherit a piece of that energy depending on what vehicle you're in. You got the trees, you got loose energy like dirt and air and water and wind and solar power, heat. And then you have the energy from things combining together, science basically, and things like animals, each one of those being a vehicle, you, a human being, being a vehicle yourself, containing your own energy. Not saying that it's just simply because obviously you can absorb, you can feel energy, you can sense it, the hair stand up on your arm whenever you're around or going through something, being just all your senses. Those things are triggered and worked by an energy that flows through your body. The reaction between your brain thinking something and you doing it with your hand. Gamers call it hand reaction time. If you got good hand-eye coordination, you're going to probably be pretty good at video games. All right. I come from a streamer background. A little over a year ago, year and a half ago, I would say, I started streaming on Twitch. This is where this whole podcast idea came from. And I enjoyed it, but I couldn't ever have my full conversations because I was playing a video game. Well, long story short, what I did enjoy out of streaming is that I got to talk to different people from around the world. Australia, the UK, different parts of Britain, Ireland even, Nova Scotia, just all types of different places. Some places I don't even know how to speak the language. But anyway, I really enjoyed getting to watch their streams, getting to know the person, kind of hearing, keeping up with their Twitter accounts and what was going on in their real lives, and like when they post stories about what's locally happening to them. It's kind of interesting because it's on the other side of the planet. and seeing what burdens them and what kind of concerns they have in society and what they're interested in, what they're hearing, and, you know, what's different from what's here. And it's just amazing how the world is truly broken up in so many different ways of life, still to this day. And you can ask anybody from overseas in the UK, like, for instance, they don't have ranch dressing. Yeah, can you believe not having ranch dressing for your Buffalo Wild Wings, for example? That would be crazy. But over there, they do not, and that's amazing because they actually have strict regulations on food, and anything that's unhealthy is deemed illegal. I watched Demolition Man the other night, by the way. Definitely a recommend movie for this, especially during this time period of human history, to look back at a movie from the 90s and say, wow, nailed it. Stars Sylvester Stallone, Sandra Bullock, really has an all-star cast. Rob Schneider's even in it. Jesse Ventura has a role in it. Wesley Snipes playing an iconic bad guy role. But the future is 2032, and everything that you deal with today is to the extreme in this version of the movie. So Demolition Man, look it up. Great soundtrack, by the way. Lead song by Sting. Hell of a musician. Definitely always recommend anything that Sting does. One of my favorites. But anyway, great movie of what a futuristic society would be like if everything was kind of controlled and everything was be well, happy wishes kind of thing. Really is kind of almost nailed it to this day. But check it out. Judge for yourself. That's what I always say anyway. But it's definitely 2 thumbs up. Popcorn movie, for sure. We're not talking about a deep intellectual film here, but it's one hell of a good movie. And I think it pretty much is one of Sandra Bullock's very first films. Definitely was right after Speed with Keanu Reeves. Another film, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from 1994. The greatest year in cinematic history. Check it yourself. I mean, really, look at all the movies from 1994 and tell me you haven't seen all of them, or at least heard of them. We did a Pulp Fiction watch with Ultimate Omega in his Discord. You will find out from my streaming days, I do have people I will promote, we'll have on the show down the road. One of them is Ultimate Omega. And I enjoyed watching Pulp Fiction. I felt like I was back at a video store. I don't ruin movies, and it's only chat only, so there's no talking during the film, thank God. I definitely love that rule, but I don't ruin movies by saying things ahead of time or anything like that, but I do go along with the movie with little tidbits of stuff that I know. For instance, in Pulp Fiction at the end, when Samuel L. Jackson's character, Jules, asks for his wallet back out of the bag that Tim Roth had, Ringo, he asks for his wallet, and he says, which one's your wallet? He says, it's the one that says bad motherfucker on it. And so, sure enough, there's the image of the guy pulling out a wallet, and it says bad motherfucker on it. The key thing about that is really Quentin Tarantino's wallet that he had in real life at that time. And so that's a pretty funny little story. And Quentin Tarantino is the best dialogue screenwriter in Hollywood. One of my favorite directors, still stays true to what he sees and what he wants to do, regardless of what the norm is in Hollywood, and why he is such a rock star of a director. Definitely anything Quentin Tarantino has directed, I would recommend you watch. Just for the simple fact that he's an iconic director, probably one of the best ever. And he came from a video store and a poor background, so you just gotta love that. I love those people always have stories for eternal ages to tell people. So what's this all got to do with energy? Well, for instance, right there, that's a guy that was dealt a really tough situation, single mother, poor, working at a video store, wanted to be somebody, put everything he had into it, took a chance, and turned something negative into positive. When you pass on and your energy leaves your body, I believe that whatever state of mind that you're in, or wherever you have set your soul, we'll call that your soul, your energy, if it's positive, I feel like that's where it would move on to, as a more positive state onward to things. Negative, push more to a hateful state. And then you have the in-between, where it's kind of like a purgatory. You really kind of just like become air or dirt or whatever. I don't know. But people think that you move on with all your feelings and thoughts and memories and everything. I actually don't believe that. I believe that we imprint on to one another. Like the energy moves on, like we do have deja vu moments and memories of a past life maybe, but overall, you don't have a brain anymore. So those capabilities of remembering and all that stuff, who you are, has no energy anymore, so it can't operate. So you don't have a brain. So without that tool, you can't make that happen. So you're just instinctive, raw energy. So I think the more you manifest as a positive being, the more of a positive energy that you are. And I think they did tests at one point in time. You'll have to look it up on your little magic box there in your hand, but sure, you could find it, maybe a YouTube video on it, where scientists did studies. You put patients in a very dark room where you can't see anything, and blindfold and all that, and little hookups on the head, and then they stimulate the right and the left side of the brain. And one side would make a person feel comfort, cool, and secure, a happy place. And then the other side stimulated made them feel anxious, scared, and hot, as if they were in a bad place. So to me, I almost feel like the energy, and like I said, energy is God. So if you are energy, you are created in His image. And regardless of who you are, like I said, forget all that gender shit, all right? You are energy. Energy has no gender, all right? You are energy. This is just your vehicle. Do with it whatever the hell you want to. I don't care. Just be whoever you are. This is the time in society where nothing holds you back from being who you are. But remember, be who you are. Don't be... don't be a statement. Be a person. That's all I got to say. We'll go into that in another episode sometime. But anyway, my point is, energy has none of that. Like I said, all that stuff is left behind. All that matters is what you are. Are you manifesting positive, or are you manifesting negative? And if you are negative, can you change that into positive? Absolutely. Something that you can do overnight? No. Trust me, I had a lot of negative energy in me. And it's taken me a long time and many years to really focus and concentrate on things that gave me happy thoughts, just like Peter Pan. And whenever I get in those moments of emotional takeovers, I have to find those few seconds where I calm myself down with a thought, a memory, whatever it is. Because, folks, I think we live in the moment at all times. Time is just a construct. Right now, in this very moment, is your past and your future. Right now, in this very moment, you can be stuck in a moment from your past, and that's all you can think about, and it holds you from moving forward. Or you can be in this moment daydreaming for the future, but not paying attention to the moment. Or you can be in the moment and hear a song that reminds you of 20 years ago when you were young. And then for a brief few seconds, you have time traveled back to that exact moment. You can even remember distinct things like smell, feelings, or the sounds around you that aren't really there. It's amazing when you actually realize it's always just the moment. And that's what you're always in. Manifesting your energy, whether you are projecting it in a positive or a negative way. And that is truly up to you. I hope everybody had a wonderful Sunday, and I hope you have a great week coming up. I will have new episodes dropping tomorrow. Remember, the only way to conquer some hate and fear out there is with a little love and laughter. So go be a conqueror. Don't be a victim.